Hello my lovelies and welcome back to Allotment of the Dead. So came down tonight just come and have a look, make sure if there's anything that needs watering, and because it's been quite warm over the last few days. That being said, I managed to water everything the other day, give everything a nice good feed as well inside the polytunnels. So come down tonight really just to show you guys as kind of what's happening inside those polytunnels. I don't know whether you can see behind me, I've just started to get the first of the Farmer Gracie lilies just coming out. I'll show you those when I switch around, but the smell here already, and there's only about 3 of the flowers that are out at the moment. They're absolutely gorgeous already. The smell is fantastic. Just the leaves have let it down a little bit because that lily beetle really has had a really kind of major feast on them really. So I'll switch you around, I'll show you what's going on. Okay, thought I'd try something a bit different today. Stick the director's cut in the corner there so you can see kind of how I'm reacting to some of these things as well, because some of these things, even though I kind of sort of know what's going on with them, some of these probably will be a bit of a surprise to me as well. But I'm going to see if I can get actually into these lilies and show you. Absolutely, there we go, there's your first lily. Absolutely gorgeous, and the smell of these is fantastic. And so the only thing I would say, as I've said before with these, is just be aware that if you're growing lilies, that the pollen from these lilies, which you'll find on the anthers here, is poisonous. So all of these anthers here, you can see, if I can get a bit closer, you can actually see the kind of the pollen on there. So that is the bit of this plant that's toxic to cats. So one of those things potentially is what happens is the pollen drops, it kind of lands all over the cats, and what happens then is the cat will basically lick itself all over, and that's when it gets poisoned. I'm taking the scenic route this time. Carpets for pathways, never a good thing. They get really slippy in the winter. Right, we'll go past the courgettes. I think there's already some courgettes starting to grow on these. Again, this needs a bit of a weeding. We'll see if we can get in there. There we go. There's some nice courgettes already growing. So I've got about maybe 10, 12 courgette plants here. You can see there as well, there's one nice courgette plant growing there. So they always say you could probably need 2 plants for a family. So yet again, I've probably got enough to feed probably a small army. But quite like courgettes, and you can stick them in all sorts of other things as well. So always good in that respect. Right, let's go to the polytunnels. So, excuse a bit of a mess. I have had a bit of a tidy up. I've put the staging outside, and I've put at least a couple of the poison plants already on that staging, just to try and lift them off the ground a bit. Partly because of the slugs. Slugs, for some reason, they still will attack the poisonous plants. Not quite so much as you would the other kind of more succulent kind of lettuces, cabbages, those sort of things, but you will get a few holes here and there. Right, let's just show you around what we've got here. So already the glory lily is looking absolutely gorgeous. Variety of different colours in here as well. It all seems to be coming off one plant, which is absolutely surprising, because this is just one type. I think this is a Rothschild's glory lily, but yeah, it seems to have a mix of different flower types there, different colours. From this absolutely gorgeous yellow and red, and they open up, and again, every part of this plant is poisonous. So yeah, just another one to be careful with. The cucamelons, I do grow these every year. Sometimes I wonder why, because they're never great. Sometimes they give you plenty of little small fruit. They look like little tiny watermelons, and generally they're going to be kind of okay in things like I don't know, drinks, Pims, that sort of thing in the summer. They've got that cucumber taste about them, so anything where you'd use a cucumber, potentially you could use one of those as well. You throw them into salads and things. I'll show you the baskets and things first before we move on to the actual chilies. So this is the Tamarillo. Just starting to get some nice sturdy branches. You can start to see now why this is called the tree tomato. This hopefully should get a lot bigger, or a little bit bigger, before it starts putting the fruit out. And I'm hoping it will get set fruit. I did have 2 plants. I only seem to have 1 now. But the other thing about this plant, I've just noticed it now. You can see me sniff my fingers there. Not something I usually do, but when I kind of touch this plant, you can kind of tell that it's this, yeah, definite kind of Solanum family, because the actual leaves of this plant, they do smell quite similar to the Brugmansia and the Datura, in that it smells a lot like peanut butter, which is a bit of a weird thing to have in your polytunnel. It's kind of a, I won't say it's an overwhelming smell, but it's yeah, and absolutely, it gives it another kind of I don't know, kind of another string to this bow, which is the Solanum plants, in that, you know, this will give us some fruit, albeit these quite largish tomato kind of shaped fruit, which have supposedly got a nice kind of sharp and tart taste, as well as kind of sweetness to them as well. So we'll see how that goes. You can see these sun catchers doing really well. Absolutely gorgeous, these. Again, fantastic for bringing in the moths of an evening. So if you're growing anything potentially that's going to be moth pollinated, it's again something to have in your polytunnels and things. They're just actually lit up by the light, so they kind of collect the light during the day. But they're absolutely gorgeous. Right, so baskets wise, pelargoniums. I've still got some flowers coming on these. These are the cola bottle ones, so they do smell of. Seems like I smell my hands a lot coming down this plot. Again, just got to be careful with some of the things I'm kind of smelling, because some of the things I don't want to be touching too much. Again, these kind of small little growth. I have kind of chopped this one down a bit. I've collected some of the seeds already, these nice little seed pods, which have just fallen off. That'll probably give me self-seeded ones next year. I'll probably try and find them before they start to grow. Again, you can actually eat the leaves of this particular plant. They're supposed to be quite peppery, almost like a mustard. But yeah, quite nice. And the young leaves are kind of better than the larger, more established ones like we've got over here. So again, variety of different sorts of nasturtium in there with the pelargoniums. Nice, a few nice flowers to bring the bees and things in. So this is the hanging basket I made, again from nasturtiums there. We started getting the first little flowers there, and then these are the absolutely fantastic Debs. You should be really proud. Deb's veg plot on Instagram. Be really proud. These are actually growing really well in here. I've nearly killed them twice. I found that if you kind of leave them more than a day without water, they get really droopy. So some of the kind of yellowing of the leaves here will be because I've left them probably slightly too long to have rewatered. The other one here, again, it's just doing the same sort of thing. So plenty of flowers on there now. So these are tumbling tom tomatoes, so we should get some off that relatively soon. Again, pelargoniums. So I've got quite a few of these cola bottles, or cola bottle ones. The smell of the leaves on these, really nice. And again, the flowers from the nasturtiums, absolutely amazing. You get these kind of almost orchid-like flowers on some of them. I've got about 5 or 6 different colours of nasturtium in here. This, because I basically give them a bit of a feed yesterday, I've had this massive amount of growth overnight. So these were looking a bit kind of, I don't know, wilty and withdrawn yesterday. So these are the small melons that I said I was going to plant in these hanging baskets, and they're doing okay. So I've got plenty of growth. They're starting to put these vines out. So I'm going to need to start trying to actually move these vines across probably across the bars inside the polytunnels here, in an attempt to try and see if I can actually get some nice fruit off these. This is sugar baby, so it should, again, probably something around this sort of size, not too big. All 3 melon types I've grown this year are all small varieties, so they should be really, really good. There's a couple of chili pots in there, but again, I'll leave those until I go through the chilies. Again, this is the rich sweetness. This is the one I got from Red Dragon Seeds. So the actual melon itself was called rich sweetness. Again, that little bit of a feed yesterday has done them well. The other thing in here is that probably about 3 years ago, I planted a Chinese yam or cinnamon vine in here. Basically, that's where it's growing from. So it's growing almost like a bindweed. You can see these kind of the leaves on it have almost got an edge to them. So you can see the leaf there. It's almost got like an edge to it, and it's almost kind of silvery in some lights. So when the sunlight is on them, they look absolutely impressive. But again, this is a vine that will grow, and then you get these nice little tiny white flowers on it, which will be smelling of cinnamon. So they call it cinnamon vine. They also call it Chinese yam, basically because the base of the vine, it grows a little bit in some respects like sweet potato. Don't think it's the same family, but the actual tuber underneath, it's me looking at a light bulb there for you. I don't want to be doing that. The tuber underneath will be growing quite a large size, kind of almost like a sweet potato, but like a large yam. And they reckon some people have taken the actual plant itself. The developing yam underneath has been big enough that you'd have to get an excavator to get it out. Now, I don't want that to happen in the polytunnel, but yeah, it's going to be interesting to see what that looks like, because this is self-seeded. It's not something I planted. So yeah, self-seeded. Again, pelargoniums all over the place, and this nemesia. So if you want anything to smell of vanilla, now vanilla for me is a real nice scent. It's kind of reminds me of back in my childhood, smelling the kind of fudge we used to make and things like that with my mum. Absolutely gorgeous smell to it. And again, mixed in with those little pink flowers of the pelargoniums, is absolutely brilliant. So again, some of these are the cola bottle. So that's the cola bottle flowers, and the nemesia growing amongst it. Absolutely gorgeous. Again, there's another melon behind us here. So this one is Tigger. I'll put a picture of these up on the screen, so you know what these actual melons actually look like. We'll just have a look at this last one. So again, we've got some more of these sun catchers here. So this one here, so you can see this oak leaf kind of pelargonium, and the actual smell of the leaf is sandalwood. And then this one here with these really delicate pink flowers is a rose variety. So this actually, the leaves here smell of the strongest roses you could probably buy for your garden. So you don't need to buy a rose to actually have that rose scent in your garden. There's a lot of flowers, a lot of other flowers you can buy which will actually give you a similar kind of fragrance. Right, let's have a look at the, I think, hang on, I'm being attacked here. So this has come off, the heat tape I've put on. I'm just going to get rid of that. Hopefully we'll be able to get, there we go. So yeah, I didn't realise the heat tape got like a plastic coating over the top, but there we go. Right, so we'll start back in here again. and I'll show you kind of where we are with the chillies. So these are the Onza. So again, you get these really nice feathery kind of hairy leaves. It's a hairy chilli, but it's not like a ricotta chilli. This is an annum variety. And I've got a few of these next ones kind of dotted around all over the place. So this is Buena Malata. These lovely purple chilies. I'm getting a lot of chilies now, a lot of sweet peppers on a lot of these plants now. All doing well. So again, there's Chiquicharodo or something like that. I can't remember how to say it, but I'll let you know. Again, I'll put the spelling of this up as well. Kind of a weird one. I think this one's from Mexico. Again, quite a sweet pepper, really. A mild pepper. As we'll go along. So these, again, I haven't really staked any of these yet, so I think I probably should start trying to do that. So these are your Peruvian lemon, so your lemon drop kind of chilies. See, the thing that you can do as you move along the chilies is give them a shake. So a lot of these flowers and things, they don't need insects to pollinate. All they need is a bit of a shake. So again, you just give them a little bit of movement. That's enough to set the fruit. So these ones here, so you've got a Hungarian wax. Again, some really nice pods on these. And then there's the Hungarian black variety of the same plant. These ones here are a Chinese long variety of chili, so almost like a whip chili. Again, I can probably start harvesting some of these. The more you harvest, the more fruit that you'll get off these. They'll put out more flowers because they think that that last lot of fruit they've put out has failed. So they'll keep putting fruit out, keep feeding them, and you'll get more pods and things off these. I've cut back the penny royal. So this was supposed to be to stop the ants getting in. But if you see at the back here, that ground is quite fine, which means that the ants have got in here. And you can tell really from these plants here, this is nothing more than ant damage underneath. So the ants have burrowed underneath. It's not overwatering, underwatering or anything like that. I've been quite mean with the water in some respects. About twice a week in here. And yeah, I've lost a few to ants again this year. But hopefully we should get some of the nice ones coming through. Dotted around as well, you'll get these self-seeded plants from the previous year. So you've only got to leave a seed in the ground and it will grow something. So this here is a Cape gooseberry. Now I've got two things I can do with this. I can either leave it and it will get to a plant about probably 3 or 4 foot high and put a stake in it. It should be all right. It will grow above the chilies. But and it should give you some fruit. So Cape gooseberries again is another one of these solanum species, like the chilies here are solanums, and it will give me some fruit in that respect. But I say I'm getting quite a few, quite a few of these Cape gooseberries kicking around, or also quite a few kind of ant damaged chilies, unfortunately. So these are the darker varieties. So we've got pockmarked peach and pink tiger. Some are looking better than others. Again, I don't think it's they've done too bad in here though. These large ones here are the 7-pot purple mamp. So these are the kind of bubblegum variety of chili, and these again we've got from Red Dragon seeds. Let's see if I can show you the developing pods. So these are really nice stark black pods. Now these are supposed to have like a bleeding calyx, so like a bright red calyx, which is basically where the stem meets the top of the chili. So I'm hopefully they will kind of develop into that, and we'll see how they look. We'll see also here There's loads of marigolds dotted around, and these nasturtiums. I've left these self-seeded nasturtiums in the ground again to try and catch some of the nasties and things that you might get from when you grow chilies. One of the things you can get is black fly, aphids and things like that. And if you've got ants, chances are you'll get those ants moving the aphids from plant to plant. And that, unfortunately, will actually cause more damage to your plants as time goes on. Some peppers are instantly recognizable. I don't know whether you guys would know what that is. So, I don't know if you guys have grown the rainforest chili before. Now, these look absolutely weird looking things, but that is typical kind of rainforest chili kind of look about it. And then also, you can kind of tell some things from the leaves as well. So, amongst here is going to be this particular plant here. So, you get these kind of sharp leaves on these and serrated leaves. So this one here is Thunder Mountain, which will give almost like a long whippet kind of. I think they get to about kind of a good foot long, and they'll kind of turn around, swizzle around in a spiral. Over in the corner here are my Somalian chilies. So these are Berber brown. Again, you get these nice big brown chilies off these. Really quite tasty, and there's quite a bit of heat to them, surprisingly. Right, so you can see here, these are the space chilies, and they again have done really well this year. Again, the plants themselves, they've often got a lot bigger than this. I mean, if I take a step back, you kind of see how many there are in that small space. But again, the actual chilies they're putting out are absolutely gorgeous. So this Corona one, first time I've grown this one, but look at the size of that. Absolutely gorgeous. Fantastic chilies. I'll definitely grow these again. I mean, look at that. Absolutely amazing. And these hopefully should go bright red. And then the other ones. So I think I'm going to probably have to kind of look at the base of these as to see which ones they are. But pretty much every plant has started to grow and put out these fruit. Absolutely fantastic. So this is the ones that I grew from my seed from last year. So this is Total Eclipse. And again, you get that spiraling pod coming off it, which are absolutely gorgeous. Flavour of this one's really good. It's really good in chili jams and things like that. But again, they're really good if you just want to add them to a stir fry. Slice them up. They're quite a succulent pepper. So they do really well. Right. Let me just see if I can edge around and show you the cayenne peppers here. So this is the pennyroyal again in the corner. Hopefully I was trying to get rid of some of the ants, which I know are in this corner. But also in this corner you've got these nice cayenne peppers. So there's a mixture of red and orange cayenne peppers here. And then this one here. Now let me see if I can go around. So this is Joe's long cayenne, which again will go bright red. You get these nice long cayenne type peppers. Let me just show you the other favourite of mine. It was over here, Red Flame. So Red Flame peppers are here. So you get these nice thin, again, cayenne type peppers, which are again are really nice little red peppers. Okay, we're flitting backwards and forwards here. So again, this corner here is where I planted my Sugar Rush, or some of the Sugar Rush peppers. So these, yeah, let me see if I can get in there. Show you, there we go. So there's some of the Sugar Rush peppers growing. So we've got red and peach in there. They are one of the first peppers to actually give fruit. Annum varieties generally will give you fruit before anything else. So your Chinese habanero kind of peppers, they will take a lot longer to actually set fruit and give you a harvest. But these are absolutely fantastic. They give you out a lot of fruit in a really small amount of time, you can then kind of pick the fruit off and it will give you almost like a second flush. You just got to keep picking them. So these ones here, again, there's a few of these weeds that have, I did a complete weeding on these, and this seemingly, I think this is a field bindweed, and this grows really, really quick. But yeah, these dark ones are the into the vampire chilies, apart from this first row. So this first row is a purple chupatino, so you get these nice little, and Cali merge. So chupatino at the front, I'll put on the screen as to what they look like as well. And then these Cali merch, which basically means black chili. They use it a lot in Indian cooking. Nice little tiny peppers, but again, they taste really good. And the vampire chilies, so Nosferatu started to put out some fruit. It's a little bit slower than the other two. So this one here, which is probably the first vampire chili I got chilies off, which is the Count Dracula. See, they look like little black fangs. Absolutely, again, little gorgeous things. They generally droop down. You've got here the vampire chilies here. So this one's vampire, and it actually has got it kind of raised above it. Again, these really stark black fruit on them. And we'll move on. So again, got some more pennyroyal there. I don't know whether it's made much difference. I mean, say as we've walked around, you see the amount of chilies potentially that I've lost from ants. But these are the sweet peppers. So we're into the kind of Pasilla Baggio. So these will become kind of a brown, long brown pepper. The Ajvarsky peppers. So these are into your sweet peppers now. And as we move along, you'll see this variegated one here with the little variegated peppers growing on them. So this is your candy cane peppers, sweet peppers. Again, variegated plants, absolutely gorgeous little plants. And then you've got here the blot. Again, I'll show you what these will look like when they're full size. The plants, unfortunately here, haven't gone very big. I did give them a good feed with focus and a little bit of seaweed fertilizer in there as well. These ones here are Kabachi. Kabachi are a Turkish variety of chili. You can see this nice spiraling. You get this kind of cayenne-like growth. And these are the chilies that you would buy in your local Turkish pizza place, which are pickled. So if you buy something called turşu from a Turkish restaurant or Turkish takeaway, it will be these Kabachi peppers. Again, really nice flavour to them. And again, at the end here, we've got this really nice black sweet peppers. So these ones are giant mulatto peppers. So these ones will have like a nice smoky taste about them. Again, really nice. Okay, so we'll go into the other polytunnel. So that was the Annum varieties. There is some Bakatum varieties in the Sugar Rush varieties of pepper. The one by the door here, these are my Ricotto peppers. So these are the ones that they will give really quite large fruit on them, and the seeds inside are going to be black. And you'll notice they call them a hairy chili, again for that same reason you saw on the Onza one back there, is that you get these nice little fine hairs all over the entire plants. And I think you'll be able to see it there on the stems as well. Again, these get to a nice size. They sometimes, again, call these tree chilies. And you can potentially overwinter these for years. There's a perennial chili. There's a definite, most chilies will be perennial if you give them a nice source of heat over that winter period. If you let basically the winter get to them right at the start of the season. So for us, it's around November 5th. then it will probably kill the plant. So you've got to try and protect that plant before that first frost gets in. The frost gets in, it's unfortunately one of those things that you're lucky if you manage to overwinter it. You've got to have somewhere quite warm to be able to do it. That's why I've got it in a pot this year. I'm going to try and do that. I'm going to put it into probably the new build, put some nice fleece on it, and see if I can actually get these in effect overwintered for next year. So these are my cucumbers. Again, I didn't put those in very early, so they are a little bit behind everybody else's. I mean, if you look at other guys like Tony Smith and that sort of people, they'll have been harvesting their cucumbers well before mine have even started. So there's still time. You can see some nice little, where are we? There we go. You see some nice little, see if I can, let's move that away. Then maybe, there we go. Some nice little cucumbers already starting to grow there. So hopefully, yeah, we'll have some fruit. Again, these were the waifs and strays of the end of the planting. So there's a mixture of things, kind of Jay's Red Ghost, Shell Pal, and Annenheim in there. But again, I've given them a feed, so hopefully they'll perk up a bit. But again, this whole thing over here is, again, that kind of ant damage. But if you notice on this plant here, nature finds a way. So this one's already trying to come back again. So you see those little leaves coming off the stem. It's kind of lost these older leaves, but it's starting to grow again. So that's a habanero Harold St. Bart. Again, quite a nice habanero chili. Right, let's see if I can step out of this without killing the hanging basket behind me. I've just pulled out the sun catcher as well. Right, again, plenty of chilies here. So these are the Chinese varieties. So you'll notice some of them will start having the flowers on them. And again, that humidity is important. To try and keep the humidity up to help the flowers to set. So I do tend to water the inside of the polytunnel here quite often. Not actually the ground around the chilies, but the centre here where we've got the bark chippings. I water all that entire area just to try and get that moisture into the air, and it helps those flowers to set. Again, I've tried to keep these in kind of rows of similar things. So skunk red, that is a nice chili from last year. Monster Apocalypse, first time I've grown that, but it's supposed to be quite nice, large pods on that. That's my mama section. And again, we've had that little bit of yellow in. I think over there is a bit of a, unfortunately, an ant den. Most of my issues I have in my chilies, most years when I put them in the ground, is with ants, unfortunately. The variegated chilies I've got over here. So this one here is Jigsaw. And you get these nice little chilies on this. Couple of this Uchi cream either side. They're not very big plants, those. And again, this was the larger plant out of them. And you can see the nice fruit growing on there. So even the fruit itself is pale. But yeah, really nice plant. This is Dragon's Breath. So this is supposed to be similar in terms of heat to the Reaper. So it's a new variety for me. I haven't tried it before. Does look like an impressive plant though. That kind of really nice dark ribbing to the branches there. Really quite nice. In the corner here is the 7-pot varieties. Again, I've had an issue there again with the ants. I've got ants literally all over these polytunnels. I absolutely hate them. They really do damage, unfortunately, to my produce every year. These seem to have done well. These are the chili grows, and I've managed to feed them quite well down the hole. I haven't used the stuff that I actually got with the chilli grows, I've used Focus instead, and they've done okay. So I think I'll kind of stay with the Focus for now. I have still got the fertilizer for the that came with these, so I might try it. I don't know, further on down the season with maybe some of the other ones that are in the ground. So again, these ones here, there is a variety of 7-pot still there, so chocolate varieties, and these are Slimer. So again, this was a new one for me, 7-pot Slimer. It's like a green looking kind of, I don't know if you guys have seen Ghostbusters, but yeah, it kind of fits that purpose quite well, 7-pot Slimer. I've got some tiny little Reaper plants growing here, a couple of Reaper plants, and a couple of the, what were they? I did know earlier on, but I've forgotten. Komodo Dragon. So Komodo Dragon, again, is quite a hot chili. It was the ones that they were selling in Tesco's for a while as a super hot chili. They don't do super hot chilies that often in supermarkets because people just don't buy them. I think Scotch Bonnet is as strong as people can really take a lot of the time, which is a shame because the flavour of some of these really hot chilies is amazing. So it's definitely worth giving it a go if you can actually manage that heat. So this one here, Death Spiral. Again, this is a gnarly kind of looking pod. Got that from Baker Creek Seeds. Again, really nice flavour to those. You'll see a few of these mustard plants dotted around as well, and there's another pak choy out the back there. I have left them for a while. I will harvest them for food, and they'll do really well, I think. Into some more of the dark varieties. So we've got a row here of Orion. Again, an interesting looking chili. Again, one I haven't grown before. That being said, I've grown, like I said, 390 plants this year. So there is definitely varieties in here I have definitely never grown before. But that's the kind of the interest you can get from growing something like chilies, in that there are so many varieties that give you so many colours, so many flavours, that variety just gives you something different every year. And then we'll come to this final area, and this was the Russian roulette kind of area is what I've called it, which is all of the freebie chili plants that I got from Red Dragon Seeds. So let me know if you know, have got any idea what these might be. There is some of the ones we do know. So Orion here, and Puma. So those are ones I do know about. This one here is number 30 or something, number 25. Which again, if you saw the jigsaw one over there, I think that might be a jigsaw pepper. But there's a lot of these. I have no idea what they are. I mean, have you grown something that looks like this? So it starts off this nice green, you get these black stripes going down the chili. Let me know what you think that is, because I think I have no idea. Which is part of the interest. I think when it comes to actually tasting some of these chilies, it's going to be really interesting, because I'm probably going to end up blowing my head off, because I'm not going to know what the heat of these are, because I'm not even going to know what the chili is. If you know something's got kind of a lot of folds in the skin and things like that, then you'll probably know there's going to be something that is going to be hot. And especially when you cut it open, it's got kind of lots of oils and stuff on the inside of the pod. That oil kind of comes off, that it's almost like a capsicum kind of fluid that comes straight out of the chili, and then gives you that kind of massive heat burst when you eat it. But yeah, there's going to be lots here that I have no idea. So this one here carries its chilies right on the top of the plant. There's a few plants that do that. You got the basket of fire kind of type plant. These are quite tall plants, so it looks to me similar to this one. So this one looks a lot like a Takonazumi, which is a white claw, or I think it's an eagle's claw chili. So these look like little talons. Got that nice little curve on the end. So yeah, should be interesting. Definitely interesting to actually taste some of these and hopefully not kill myself. Let me just show you the other few bits and pieces I've got growing in here, and then we'll sign off. So these again, I've had mixed kind of views with these. I kind of wrote these off for a while. We've got the Datura plant still growing. So this is Datura Golden Globes. It's the only yellow one that's come up. So I will be planting that. More of the Narangilla, which I will show you what the adult plants look like probably later on in the week, because I've actually got a nice pot of those growing. And again, these ones here again are Wonderberry. I don't know a lot about Wonderberry. I think they grow to about 2 feet high, and they give you little black fruit on them. Again, Wonderberry is it's related a little bit to the huckleberry. So the huckleberry is a little bit like a blueberry in some respects. This is a Solanum species again, and the Wonderberry is one of those plants that the actual green fruit that you get first before it goes ripe is actually toxic. So you've got to be really careful when you're picking them. We've got a couple more of the hairy balls plants growing there, so I'll plant those in a nice pot with some of the other poisonous plants we've got here. And then we've got this here, nice little pot of mimosa. I don't know whether you guys have tried planting or playing with mimosa before. They call it the sensitive plant because if you touch it, it closes up the leaves. Really interesting kind of plant. And again, it's another toxic plant. So these nice little plants, I'll try and get these to a nice little size. I don't know whether they're annual at the moment or whether they're a perennial. It's definitely something I'll try doing. I've got one solitary wormwood artesia, which is the plant that you get absinthe from. And then over here, my saltwort hasn't really grown very well at all. So that should have been grown a bit like samphire. But the epizoti has grown. That's supposed to be related to the fat hen. And then this one here is mesembryanum, or the ice plant. So this is supposed to have almost translucent leaves sometimes, in that it makes little kind of clear pockets of where it collects the water and things. So I'll be planting these again in separate pots, and hopefully see if we can get something from these. You can eat these again in salads and things like that. Not tried them yet. They reckon you can overdose with this plant though, so I shall again be taking it quite easy. Okay. So that was a tour around the polytunnels. It's kind of amazing what you can see just in 2 polytunnels, and the amount of stuff that the amount of plants I've actually got growing in here. My chilies this year I'm really pleased with. Yes, there is a few of them that I've lost to the ants, and some of them probably haven't grown very well in the first place. Some of these plants I would expect them to be probably double or even treble the size. Again, it's been unfortunate, one of those things where I've probably not got them into the ground quick enough when they were finally ready to go out. All is not lost though. It's a long growing season for these, so I can potentially be harvesting these right up until that first frost in early November. And they will be setting fruit. And the thing about these Solanum species is that even if you have green fruit at the end of the year, you take that green fruit off, they will ripen. They will ripen off the plant. You've just got to, again, keep them with other ones that are ripe. And again, that just kind of helps them to actually give you that nice kind of final stage of what the fruit's supposed to look like. So not all of these are going to be red. There's going to be a lot of white ones. There's going to be a lot of black ones. It's just the kind of the nature of the Solanum species, and the nature of chilies is just absolutely fantastic to give you that variety. Right, so that is the Polytunnel Tour for now. I thoroughly expect to be coming back to these in probably a week, maybe 2 weeks, and we'll show you then exactly what's going on. The cucumber melons will probably take off and be all over the place by then. The cucumbers, hopefully I should be starting to get some decent cucumbers off these as well. So yeah, as far as I'm concerned, I'm still into that early season, even though we're into July now, where a lot of people have already started getting cucumbers and chilies and tomatoes even. My tomatoes are going to be late this year, but I've got hope. You have a bit of faith. Generally, you know, things will happen. It might not be the best harvest I get this year with some of these things, but I'm going to give it a damn good go to actually see what I do get from them. So yeah, don't give up hope. If you guys are having issues with your plants and things like that, don't give up hope. Just, you know, keep talking to them, keep watering them, keep you know, just giving them that occasional feed. A little bit of fertilizer sometimes goes a long way. So we'll see you on the next video. Have a really good well, coming up to the weekend soon. I think we're on to hump day almost. I think by the time this goes out, it's probably going to be either Wednesday afternoon or Thursday morning. My daughter's getting married this weekend, so I'm absolutely chuffed to be you know, taking part in that whole thing with her. It's about blooming time is all I'll say. But yeah, she's going to absolutely look gorgeous, I'm sure. I've got some really beautiful kids. Comes with having a really nice, decent, gorgeous, fantastic wife. So I'll leave it there anyway. We'll see you on the next video. So all the best. Take care. Bye bye.